How's it, everyone? Yeah, we've got our first burning question of the night. What's in the box? What's in the box? But before we get there,
West Cork Beard Company make beard oil and beard balm for a strong, healthy, great-looking beard. Handmade from all natural ingredients in Clonakilty, West Cork. Check out their YouTube channel for beard care tips and advice, or catch them online at westcorkbeardcompany.ie.
So, boys, are we surviving the international break without any footy, or at least any club footy anyway? We've plenty of international stuff going on. So
barely.
I don't want to talk about international football.
Oh yeah.
Just cut to the chase, please.
Saw something you put out earlier, which we're not going to get into the international stuff. So
please don't.
Yeah. So welcome in everybody in the chat box. Thanks for being here. It's going to be a bit of a short show tonight, guys. Not a whole lot to talk about. But we're going to start things off with a burning question. Everybody wants to know what's in the box, Stan. So
what is in the box?
Actually, and just so everybody knows, Stan also wants to know what's in the box. He's not opened it yet, so he doesn't even know. So we're all about to be surprised. Are you smelling it? Are you smelling it? Doesn't smell like anything?
So basically, right, this is my missus got me this for our 10-year anniversary, which was in October. So why am I getting this now? Well, what happened was we said, like, well, because of the lockdown and everything, we won't do nothing this year. And next year we'll do something like go to Vegas, right? And as the couple of days went on, I thought to myself, this is like a test. Because when that morning comes and I get out of bed, if I'm not bearing gifts, she's gonna have my balls in a vice. You know what I mean? So I went out, battled COVID, went out, bought her a nice little piece of jewelry, and guess what happened? We got to the morning, I gave her a little present, and she was like, I thought we weren't going to do nothing.
Hang on. Can I wait, Stan, is she watching?
No.
Can she hear me?
No, she's out.
Could the present have possibly been your balls in the vice?
I think I would realize if I was a couple of balls light.
Yeah, a couple. This is the kind of show it's going to be tonight, everybody, by the way. So, while he's opening the box, for any tactical analysis that we get into, I have a whiteboard. All right. So what do we got? Oh, it's good. Oh, it's good.
Sorry, that was just like that was me doing my Pulp Fiction.
Oh my god.
There's a box.
In a box.
In a box.
Nice. This is like edge of your seat stuff.
Oh.
Oh my god! I can't.
We're all watching with bated breath. Wow.
Oh.
It's a time machine.
Wow. It's like a pocket watch, but
it's a pocket watch.
That's awesome. That, my friend, that's good stuff.
In the side of the box, there's a little inscription. It says, "Happy 10-year anniversary, your bollocks." No, my love. So there you go, everyone.
There it is. First burning question of the night has been answered. Happy anniversary, belated, by the way. That's it's a very nice gift that she got for you. Any comments? Ryan, Rohan? No?
Congratulations.
I mean, in my opinion, give Stan a bow tie. He'd be like the next Bond villain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, really.
He already has a cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Mr. Bond.
So there was another question asked of Rohan, something about a limousine having a pool or
No, a hot tub
something,
or
a hot tub or a pool. Was that
Hot tub
so,
and a bar.
Yeah. So Rohan, tell us about the.
The only thing wrong with that question was there was an or in there. It's and.
Oh. And it's not a question. And it was posed as a question.
Everybody knows
It should have just been a statement.
So it's a hot tub with a swim-up bar inside of it.
That's my kind. That's my kind of
Bubbly
kind of
inside the
right
bubbly
there.
water.
Bubbly inside. A little bit of the bubbly. Hey, Stan?
Exactly.
Bubbly.
If you're watching AEW, you'll get that reference. Yeah, question wise, we didn't really get a whole lot on Twitter. So we'll get into some of this a little later on. But Stan and I, crazy enough, we both put out basically the same poll yesterday for you guys that had not seen the rumor making the rounds. Supposedly some outfit in Italy put a rumor out there that we, meaning the Arsenal, are offering Granit Xhaka to Inter Milan straight up for Christian Eriksen. So Stan and I basically put out the poll that would you do it? Mine was, yeah, do it, or no, once scum, always scum. So the results of my poll were about 42.5% said no, once scum, always scum. 57.5%, then give or take, were in favor of doing it. Stan, take it away. What were the results of your poll?
Well, mine, I just basically said, would you swap Granit Xhaka for Christian Eriksen, yes or no? And I've got, at the moment, I'm sat on 40.7% are saying yes, and 59.3% are saying no. So
I'd be curious, and Ryan, being the mad Granit Xhaka fan that you are, I'm kind of curious. I have no idea how you would feel about this. I know you would pretty much be open to trading Granit Xhaka for this marker. Would you do it straight up for Christian Eriksen in January?
The marker. It's no. So
is the marker an option?
So I asked myself a question. I said, does Christian Eriksen help us? Can he win us points? Can he help the team out? I do. I think there's room. I think there's room for him to help us. And then I asked myself, what are his negatives, and what kind of player is Christian Eriksen? And I don't want to get too into what I was saying, but I essentially came to the realization that he's just an Ozil that works maybe, as Stan would say, a pinch of salt harder. He's not good off the ball. He doesn't work. He doesn't have a great attitude on the pitch. You know, he went to Inter Milan thinking he was going to be, I don't want to say he thought he was going to be a star there, but I thought, he thought he was going to, do some things. And now he's fighting to get on the field, taking Xhaka out of it, I kind of just asked myself, do we want Eriksen? But anyways, yeah. So would I do it? The answer obviously would be yes. I think Christian Eriksen offers us something that Xhaka doesn't. I think the stuff that, long story short, I know too late. The reason why Xhaka has been so good for us since Arteta came in is because Arteta has built a system around Xhaka to hide his deficiencies, and I think slowly he's been getting found out. And I think more so than him getting found out, I think it's more so we have better players in our squad that we don't necessarily need to hide. That Arteta doesn't need to hide He doesn't need to hide his system around. Like in El Nene, for example, he's quick. He knows what he wants to do. He wants to move fast. Xhaka is slow, big-footed. He's got 2 left feet. He's unathletic. Whatever. Now the question is, I don't know, because then you kind of go to yourself, if we do an Eriksen for Xhaka, deal, do you think, okay, well, is that going to be our attacking midfielder? Are we not? Is War out? Is I don't even know. I can't even pronounce the guy's name. Jabajai? I don't even know. Is he out? Are we not going to sign? Are we not going to sign attacking midfielder? You know, I hope that's not the case. I think, to me, the best way I can relate Christensen to joining Arsenal would be us signing Willian. I think Willian is like a short fix. I think he could bring structure and organization to the team. Just as much so, I think Eriksen could bring some creativity, some structure, some, I guess, work ethic on the ball, you know. But I don't think he's a long-term fix. I don't think he's somebody that should be starting for us. You know, scum or no scum, I don't care. So, yeah,
Rohan,
that's kind of my thoughts.
Rohan, would you do it?
The only positive that I see is that it'll piss off some Spurs fans, right? Like, I mean, that's the only thing. Eriksen has good in the Premier League. He's been good, but he's not the guy that we need. He's slow and he's old now. I agree with the analysis that Ryan just put out, that he's like Ozil. And we had Ozil and he's not registered. You know, maybe he works a little bit harder, but we've also seen him down tools in his last season at Spurs, which was great to watch. But you don't want that. What are we, a club of rejects now? So you know, so I don't think that he is the guy that we need. That position per se, we need to solidify. We need an attacking midfielder. But I'd be excited to see someone younger come through, you know, or someone else come through than see Eriksen. I would think that's a bit of a sideways move.
Yeah.
So Stan, you put out the poll. So how would you answer it?
Well, the thing about Christian Eriksen, the first thing that jumps out and always makes me chuckle to myself is that this is a man who was brought up in a place called Middelfart in Denmark. I mean, look it up, man. There's a place called Middelfart. Brilliant.
Yeah.
But I remember when because I used to live in Amsterdam. I lived there for like a long time, and while he was still at Ajax, and he was really good at Ajax. You know, a lot of my friends who supported Ajax, he was like probably one of their favourite players. And a little bit how I used to be quite hot on Donny van der Beek. And I thought, you know, I really wanted Donny van der Beek to come to Arsenal. I remember at the time when there was talk of him leaving Ajax, I was really hot on him. And what I liked about Eriksen was that he could have gone the summer that he actually went, but decided to give Ajax another year to help them out. You know, he was quite selfless about that, which I quite appreciated. And when Tottenham got him, you know, a lot of my friends in the UK who were Tottenham supporters, I do have these friends, unfortunately, they didn't really know of him. You know, they didn't really know of him, but I had a little bit of the inside track just because I lived in Amsterdam, right? And I think they paid it was somewhere between, I think it was about 14 million. And I remember at the time thinking, that is a really good deal for what you're paying for this guy. And his stats at Tottenham were quite good. You know, if you look at his stats over the seasons, you know, he chipped in with quite a few goals and a lot of assists. But like Rohan said, and Ryan also touched on, in the last season or so, you've seen another side of him, right? That, you know, if the porridge isn't too hot or the porridge is too cold and it isn't just right, you might not be able to get a tune out of him. And we've kind of travelled that road with Mesut Ozil. But the question that we're really asking is that would it be that bad, knowing everything that I've just said about Christian Eriksen? Would we want him and let Xhaka go, or is it that we would keep Xhaka? Because I'm not a big fan of Xhaka, and
it almost seems like, I mean, if the only option is you keep Xhaka or you take Eriksen, it almost is it a lose-lose in you know, if you have to do one or the other, is it a lose-lose?
Yeah, I think the question more, at least for me, I don't want to excite any Xhaka fans, but the question for me is not, you know, does Eriksen make us better? I mean, I did ask myself that and all that, but to me, I think we do it not because we're getting Eriksen, but we do it because we're getting rid of Xhaka. We're doing it because we're getting rid of somebody that we need to get rid of. And I know people don't want to hear that, but there's so many players in this team we need to sell. Granted, yes, we want to kind of trim the roster down, so bringing Eriksen in doesn't really make sense. and I kind of agree with Rohan said. It's kind of a sideways move, but I think Eriksson brings something to the table that we kind of don't have, sort of. Whereas Xhaka doesn't really bring anything to the table. That
you're leading. Go ahead, Rohan. Go ahead.
No, but think about that, right? I don't know how much time Xhaka has left on his contract. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you'll have to possibly give Eriksson a longer deal than that, and then you'd be stuck with someone who's already done. It isn't about keeping Xhaka; it's about upgrading to someone better than Eriksson. Why do you just want to sign someone and then the club has the reason to say that, see, we've signed someone. He's not up to the potential. At least he's not been that for the last 2 seasons. If we were signing him 2 seasons ago, I'd be like, hell yeah.
Well, yeah, that was what I said before. Is like it to me. I compare him to Willian. Like we brought Willian in kind of like as a temporary fix, but we have people that can play Willian's position, like a Reece Nelson, like a Pepe, that we want to bring in and take Willian over. And I think I want to do that the same way as Eriksson. I think Eriksson could help us out maybe this season, maybe next season. But like like you just said, Rohan, I don't want for us to get him and be like, oh, we got our attacking midfielder. See, we don't need to do anything else. Like, no. We still need that young attacking midfielder that we've been after. And to everyone saying that he's old, Xhaka is only 7 months younger than him. They're both 28, and 28's not terribly. I mean, it's like, but yeah, I don't. I don't think age really has anything to do with it, but
I did read through the article. It came from some Italian publication. I actually did read through it, and if I understood it correctly, it actually the rumor is it would work very much like a trade in an American sport would work, where it literally is a trade. There's no new contracts are being doled out. We're shipping Granit Xhaka in his current contract to Inter Milan. We're taking back in return Christian Eriksen in his current contract. Neither contract is getting redone. That's the way I understood it. Take that for what it's worth. To Rowan's point, hopefully we wouldn't have to hand out. And this is a very unsubstantiated rumor, because I saw one source report it. I couldn't find it anywhere else. It was an Italian publication. But anyway, Stan, Ryan was actually kind of starting to hit on my point here. Is it worth doing? Because I guess in my opinion, I look at Granit Xhaka as a poor man's Thomas Partey. So, and we already have players that can do that job in the Europa League, in the lower level cup matches. So do we bring in Eriksson from the standpoint of he's filling a hole that we need, and we're thinning out a position where theoretically we're a bit bloated, if what I just said makes sense?
My biggest concern actually with getting Eriksson is I'm just looking on now, and I'm seeing here that apparently he currently earns 229 grand a week, and I would be a little bit cautious about paying that kind of a wage and giving him like a Willian contract, like he could do a good job for us for about 9 months, but then what? So it all for me. It's like, if you were paying him something like maybe 150,000 a week, I could probably feel a bit better about it, And again, I don't know why I'm so concerned with the salaries, but I mean, there was a time when we really didn't know what players earn, but we're made so aware of it now, right? We can't help but know. And for me, sometimes I do look at value for money. And I'm not sure if that we were going to bring him in, north of 200 grand, whether I would feel that was value for money.
That's steep. I have no idea what the contracts are. I think Xhaka has 2 years remaining after the end of this season. I think he still has 2 years left, but I have no idea what money he's on. And if Eriksson, what'd you say, Stan? 220?
Yeah, it's 229 a week.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to give to a guy that really is
as well. Pound sterling, it says here.
Oh, is it? Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Whereas, hold on 1 minute. There is another one. The first one I saw, it said, according to the Times, Gary Jacob, the deal we're earning, this is when he signed to Inter Milan, it says 100 grand a week after tax. Oh, after tax. So yeah, maybe he's on 229, and after tax he pockets 100 grand. That makes sense. Yeah.
Couple of guys here. David Silva, better than Eriksson. I would agree. With that, it's interesting. Somebody put out here it is, Lone Star Londoner. Eriksson played in the 2020 Europa League final against Sevilla, which Inter lost 2-3, became the first player to lose 2 consecutive finals in 2 different competitions.
Yeah, I remember that.
Tough break. But he was there. And I'm curiosity question. Would you rather play in the final and lose or not make it to the final at all? Anyone? I'm curious as to people's takes on this because I am quite frankly shocked that there are actually people out there who would say, nope, I'd rather not even play in it.
No, I'd rather play in the final and lose. Hopefully then, I can see what we've done wrong and we get there the next time and maybe do it right, put it right, improve what we did wrong.
This is something that someone answered on Andrew's podcast, the Hinkley Gooner, his podcast from Dial Square, and so he has this question of what is one game that you remember, what is one game that you want to forget, delete, that sort of a thing, and the general answer for that is the Champions League final, right, that we lost. But somebody, I don't remember who, put the perspective out there, which is quite right, and that's changed my perspective of the fact that in that game, of course, we scored first, right? And the joy that everyone felt when we scored that goal, you wouldn't want to take that away. It was painful at the end of it, but being there and actually watching us score first and that hope of the fact that we're going to make it, that was another feeling. I mean, we've not had that before, so it's worth it to get there. You don't get there, you've lost before. Then what is it worth?
Exactly. Like I said, I'm stunned that people actually take the opposite approach to this. Lone Star Londoner, yes, I know no one wants to lose a final. That's not. None of us just said we want to lose the final. The option is you get to the final but lose or not make it to the final at all. So you can't win it if you don't play for it. So
I don't know. I mean, I agree. I think I'd rather lose a final, but the way I felt after Baku, I didn't have that caveat. We didn't score first. I didn't have that moment, like we did in the Champions League. We got ran off the field. It wasn't even. Honestly, you asked me would I rather lose a final or not even be in the final. I don't even think we were in that final. We didn't even show up anyway. It doesn't even matter.
We showed up and then we left real quick.
Yeah,
so we gotta beat the traffic. Beat the traffic.
It's
that being said.
No, I was gonna say it's weird to pose that question because Rohan put up an amazing point, and that's why I'm like, oh, I definitely agree with that. But then it's like I went to the local pub, the local Arsenal pub, and I watched the game, and I was excited for the game. I was nervous, I was excited, but the entire 90 minutes, I wanted to drink myself into oblivion, and it was like the worst feeling ever. Losing to Chelsea, and then the cherry on top is watching Olivier Giroud hold the trophy and say "fuck Arsenal." So I mean, I kind of wish they were a lot. I won't lie, they were several, many moments where I was like, I wish we weren't here. I wish we didn't make it. I don't want this feeling. I don't want this. So I could kind of see why people would choose the opposite. I do, but it's. But we get more money. So,
yeah, but
yay.
That being said, actually over the last decade, I mean, we've been quite good with finals though, right? We haven't really lost
the 2 European finals.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the last decade, we just lost. Did we lose anything else apart from the Europa League final? Because we won every FA Cup. We won three FA Cups.
The League Cup against Manchester City here 3 years ago.
We lost under Wenger as well, didn't we? Under
Say
Wenger.
It again, Sam?
We lost the Europa under Wenger as well.
No. That was semi-final, Atletico.
Oh yeah.
That was the semi-final.
So we lost the League Cup, but we won all the FA Cup finals and we won all the the Community Shields also. Actually,
Yeah.
we didn't lose any of the Community.
I don't remember
Shields as
losing
well.
a Community Shield after winning the FA Cup.
I mean,
Yeah,
do you guys really like the Community Shield?
Liverpool in I think it was the FA Cup final in was it 2000 and I was in Thailand watching it. Do you remember? It was an FA Cup final. I think we lost 2-1. Michael Owen.
2001.
Yeah, I was at 2001. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I hated that. Game. We had a power cut
Yeah.
in the middle, which was good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so Ryan just asked if I like the Community Shield as much. You know what? To be honest, actually, I like the Community Shield more than the Europa League final. I mean, Europa League really if I'm being honest, losing the final did not hurt. Like I have never given two shits about the Europa League, and I will continue to be that. And you can call me like high-nosed and all of that, but you know, I didn't care when other teams were playing in it. I don't care about it now. For me, that's just an avenue to get into the Champions League. I'd never want to brag that we won that trophy because the best aren't playing in that trophy. You know, that's not a cup that you win after beating the best. You know, Community Shield is still better because you have to win against the champion of the previous season, in our case, because we would have won the FA Cup. But you know, the Europa League really, for me, it didn't really mean much when Chelsea won it, Chelsea won it the season after they won the Champions League. I was like, what's the big deal in that? When United won it, I was like, yeah, nobody gives a shit. So, you know, if I win it, I'm not going to count it as much because like the big teams aren't even playing in it anyway.
I'd like to ask a question. In fact, I'll open the question up to everyone in the chat room as well. Do you count the Charity Shield as a trophy?
It's not a trophy. It's a fun game to watch, and it's
I mean, there's a trophy there, so I count it as a trophy.
I count it as a trophy, but there are some people that when you talk about, you have conversations and you talk about the Charity Shield, they're very quick to say that's not a trophy. The money gets given to charity. Okay, that's a very noble thing that the money goes to that, but at the end of it, the winner gets gets something that is really shiny, and it gets put in a trophy cabinet. Yep. And you can look at it, and it's tangible. It is a trophy.
Yeah, it's a trophy
for me.
It's a trophy as much as the League Cup is a trophy, right? Or it's a trophy as much as the J Paints League or the Auto Windshields in the lower leagues is a trophy. do you know what I mean? You got to be in it to win it.
The Checker Trade Trophy.
Exactly.
No, I agree,
Ron,
and you know, for me, it's a little less than a trophy. It's a shield, right? It's called the Community Shield, but in that sense, like, it's a shield. And the reason why I say it is because it happens before the season starts, and a lot of times it's almost like a warm-up game towards the season. You know, people aren't fit, some of the players aren't back, you know, things like that. So it doesn't have that feel. But I love the occasion, you know. I love watching it. I love the fact that there are two English clubs that are involved, so you know everything about each other. You know, there's that excitement. It's not a random match, you know, that you're playing. So yeah, I mean, not a major trophy, but I'd love to win it. I'm
just laughing because Lawrence has asked, "Is the Makita Cup a trophy?" And that's a blast from the past. But, you know, the Emirates Cup, for me, yes, physically it's a trophy, but it's a friendly tournament, right?
Right.
You know,
right. That's a good comparison.
The same as I think the Makita Cup was, right? It's billed as a friendly. But the FA Cup, the Charity Shield, that's a competitive game, right? You go out there and you're competitive about it. You want to win the game.
We're going to make this a thing now. Your incredible shield is.
Is the Audi Cup a trophy?
I mean, if you ask a certain fan base, it's the most important trophy in the world.
Yeah, when we get Christian Eriksen in January, I ask him if it's a trophy.
I will ask him. Yeah, we'll ask him. So moving on here, fellas, let's get into a little bit of a preview of Leeds. Dive into some tactics. So we kind of got into this last week. What are the changes, Stan? I'm going to start with you. What are the changes that Arteta needs to make with the lineup? Let's start with the lineup, and we'll go around the horn here. But with the lineup,
I've been thinking about this, and for me, we've got this two week break, this interlull as we call it. And you know, at the back of the last game, for me, there were certain changes that I almost are demanding that need to be made now. But what happens if we come back and against that game of Leeds, we go out with the same lineup? If I see that same lineup with Willian in there and Lacazette in there, I'll properly be frothing, to be fair. But the thing is, though, what happens if we ended up winning that game 1-0? See, for me, I would still be angry because I would, and I'm looking into the future. The game's not even been played yet, but I don't want that to be a justification then that we continue on because we etched out a 1-0 win. So I'm all for giving Mikel Arteta chances that we've spoke about before. He's a new manager. There's bumps in the road. But I really hope that when we come back for this game, that he isn't persevering with the same old shit. So you asked me about the lineup. For me, you know, it's a back four. We know who the fullbacks are. For me, it's Hector Bellerin and Kieran Tierney with Gabriel in there, centre-back. But it's who is going to be his partner? You know, I'm not sure if Mikel Arteta actually trusts any of our other defenders on their own to work as a two. Otherwise, why have we been persevering with this 3-5 at the back? For me, I think I would go with Holding. He's had a few more of the games this season. I always feel nervous with David Luiz. I know he's had some very good games, but I just cannot relax when he's playing. I'm waiting for it. I've said this analogy before. It's like running around with a hand grenade without the pin. Any minute now, it's just going to go off. And I'm just waiting for it. And I'm getting old now. My heart can't take that, watching games, being on the edge for like 90 minutes. It's no good for me. So Holding, I'll put in there. But then it's the formation. Where's he going to go with that? 4 at the back. Where does he go after that? Is it a 4-3-3? Is it 4 with 1 deep player and 2 ahead? This is the thing, you know. And I'm quite happy to be surprised. I want to be surprised a little bit, but the base for me has to be a 4 at the back with 3 in the midfield, you know, and then whoever's going to make up that 3 up front, it has to be Saka, Aubameyang, Pepe. I'd like to see that tried as the front 3 if we're going to go with that formation. You know, personally, if I had my way, I'd have a formation which would encompass 2 up front. I'd like to see Aubameyang and maybe Pepe tried. See how that works. I wouldn't mind experimenting with something like that.
So who are you putting in your midfield?
Well, if it's going to be, you know, the way that the formation that I think that we play with that natural sort of wingers, then it's going to have to be Thomas Partey is fit for me. We're not going to have the Egyptian Pirlo because he's got COVID, unfortunately. I would have Elneny in there, but he's obviously maybe not going to play. So then it kind of picks itself a little bit, you know. Maybe you have to put Xhaka in there with a Dani Ceballos, or maybe you leave Xhaka out, which I know if Ryan could, he would, and maybe you put a Joe Willock in there. Maybe you have Partey Ceballos and a Joe Willock in there, who's done quite well in some of our Europa games.
Yeah. Ryan, I'll come to you. So I'm writing this all down, by the way.
Ooh.
So we can kind of, I'm using.
I was wondering, what are you doing?
I'm writing it down.
Distracting me.
Well, just see if we're right when the game comes and see if everyone's kind of right.
That's if I don't erase it before the show's over.
Oh, you will.
Probably.
You only erase it if you're right, Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm doing this by number, by the way. So I'm writing down the players' numbers.
We probably put it in a wooden frame. So.
Oh God,
So that's basically what I'm doing.
Okay.
That's confusing.
So what do you think, Ryan? No pressure.
I don't know. So I honestly don't think he's going to make that many changes. I think Stan's going to be a little upset when he sees the starting 11. I don't think it's going to be the same 11. I think he may change two people, maybe 3. I don't know. So is the question, what do I want to see or what do I think I'm going to see?
I said both. Do both.
Yeah.
So what I want to see is I'm going to
write down I'm going to write down what you think he will do, not what you want to do.
Okay.
You guys
well then I'll tell you what I want to do, and then I'll tell you what I think he's gonna do. So what I want is I want 4 at the back, I want 2 double pivots in the midfield, and then I want a rotating 4 up top, a diamond. I completely agree with what Stan's saying with David Luiz. It's a mistake waiting to happen, but for some strange Uncle Todd wrestling naked reason, I think David Luiz and Gabriel can do really good things together in a partnership. I don't know why. I told you it's weird. It's Uncle Todd weird, but maybe they're both Brazilian. I don't know. I want to see it. I think David Luiz is a good leader on the field, and maybe I will. And I think Luiz can kind of, while Gabriel could kind of be the muscle, Luiz can kind of be the brains, and kind of telling Gabriel like kind of where to be, what to do. And then Bellerin's proven me wrong every week. I want to see Beller on the right, and I want to see Tierney on the left. And I think you could then, if you want to change things around, go to a back 3, go to a back 4 during the game, with Tierney being that third center back. And then on that left would be – so what did I say? All right, I'm going to go up. Now I'm going to my midfield. I'm like going too far ahead of myself. So my double pivots in the midfield, since we don't have my Egyptian pride, my Egyptian king, El Nene, I would do Partey, and I would do Joe Willock. I think if he gets the job and you sit Willock down, you tell him, hey, run. Okay, Mikel, but what now? No, run. Just run. Make those runs. Make those runs in the box and work your hole off. Yeah. And then my rotating 4 would be, let's see if I can remember this. So it would be Pepe. Yeah, obviously no order. It would be Pepe, Aubameyang, Saka. And who's my 4th? See, I knew I'd forget one. Who did I forget? There's someone I like. Oh, I want to see. No. I want to see Reece Nelson. Because I think this is not what he's going to do. This is 100% not what he's going to do. I just want to see what these guys can do. I want Arteta to take the handbrake off. I want Arteta to be like, hey, listen, I don't want you to play conservative. I don't want you to play just so you don't get. I don't want you to play like El Nene used to play. Just tidy football, not make any mistakes. Don't ruffle feathers. No. I want you to ruffle feathers. I want you to shake that chicken coop and get as many feathers as you can out. I want utter chaos up front. I mean, when you have a diamond 4 up front constantly rotating, that just says chaos in itself. So obviously, you want, but again, that's exactly what Arteta is not going to do. So what I think Arteta is going to do is I think he's going to play 3 at the back still. Yep. I think he's going to do see, I don't know.
I think the only change he will make will probably be Lacazette for Eddie. I think everything else will probably be the same.
Yeah,
that's I think he's going to do. That's what I believe. I think he will do. I think Willian's going to be in there, man. I really do. I think Willian has to be like, in a coma to not get a game.
Well, no. I don't know if you guys.
He's awake. He's in.
I don't know if you heard the news. He traveled to Dubai during the international break. I mean, not that it's not going to happen. He has to provide a negative COVID test. I hope it's positive. I hope it's positive. No, I don't wish that on anybody.
I think he has, mate. I think earlier it said he tested negative. I saw something like that.
Okay. He's in. So I think it's gonna be a back 3. I mean, it's weird because he's really persisting with holding. And I know Luis is kind of coming back from an injury. I don't know. I really want to. I want to see Luis in there. I want to be. I think Luis, Gabriel, Tierney, and then your wing backs are going to be Saka, Bellerin, and then what is it? So that's 3. So the 2 in the middle. To me, you have to do Partey and Ceballos. Xhaka, I don't see how. I think Partey does so much on his own. Xhaka is just going to hinder the middle of the field for us. Because to me, like, when we had Ceballos in there with El Nene and Partey, he was running around with chicken with his head cut off because he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know where to go. He didn't know where to be. But I feel like if it's just him and Partey in the middle of the field, I think you could have Partey do all that he can do, and you kind of give Ceballos a job of, make those passing into the final thirds. Make a few runs here and there. Partey's going to be your, again, like you're on, like your bouncer at the door at the club. So yeah, I would like to see that. And then up top, I mean, it's tough. I genuinely think Arteta is not a fan of Pepe. I just don't think it's his cup of tea. Again, Pepe, what does Pepe do? He's chaos. He creates chaos. We need chaos. I don't think Arteta sees that. And I don't know how you don't see that, but I just think that Arteta thinks that with 11 hard-working players, you win games. Sometimes you need guys that are just superstars. You need I won't even go say superstars.
Maverick in there, didn't you?
You need like a talent. You need someone that could pull something out of their ass. You need someone that's gonna go up to a teacher. Your teacher's checking the homework, and all the kids are like, my dog ate it, my sister ate it, my this. You need someone up there that's gonna give out this 15-minute conversation about how you went to some drug lord's house and you were making chemicals and things happened and your homework got lost in the chemical. It's my point. You're shaking your head. Everyone's shaking their head. Happening? Exactly. My point exactly. We need someone to cause chaos. And I think Pepe does that. And I have to agree with Stan. I think the only real change we're going to see is Eddie in for I know all that. Eddie in for Lacazette. So I think it's going to be Abba, Eddie, Willian. But I do think if the game is going as poorly as it's going, I think that he makes a halftime sub, Pepe for Willian. I think if things go the way they're trending, how it's been the last 2 games, I could totally see a halftime sub with Pepe on for Willian.
Okay. Rowan.
Strange chat going on in the chat box, but anyway.
Yeah, right.
I'm not just sure. I'm HIV positive.
Rock Hudson in the chat box, but let's move on.
Yeah.
What I want him to do is play 4 at the back. Again, Leeds is going to attack, but they have one striker, Bamford, who's not a beast. It's not like we need 3 people to control him, right? We need to hit them on the break. We need people up front, not people defending. That's how they play. We're playing at home, and Leeds, especially away, go all out attack. I have seen them. They are this year's Sheffield United, but better, because they have that intent. I love watching Leeds play, and they're going to come here and attack, and they will embarrass us if we try to sit back and sort of play like that. And that is why I feel like this is a game for David Luiz. David Luiz needs to play because he can break those lines and he can put that ball across. I want David Luiz to play. And in fact, since that game in which he gave away the penalty, etc., and got sent off against City, since then he's played all right. I don't think that David Luiz has done so much wrong since then. It's not like he's the best centre back in the world now, but amongst the guys that we have, the game that he went out injured also, till then he was like our most creative player. All that we kept doing was him doing the diagonal to Tierney, right? So we need David Luiz to play. I'd play a back 4, Luiz, and then the 2 fullbacks who choose themselves pretty much. I want 3 in midfield. I want the solid performance by Partey, breaking it up. I want Xhaka there again, to cover that left spot. Yeah, and I want him there to cover that left spot because we need Tierney to go bomb forward. He is the guy who's going to provide us the width. So he needs to slot in there in the back. He can at least have some discipline, and he can play there. And the third midfielder that I would play is probably Joe Willock. He's had good games. He's got the energy and he can run. Front 3 of Saka on the left, not on the right, on the left. Aubameyang through the middle, who scored goals in the international break, playing through the middle, and Pepe on the right. This is what I want him to play. I don't want to see Willian. I don't want to see Lacazette. I don't want to see a back 5. These are these things too much to ask for? Like, I mean, why? Like, just do it. Like, there's no point in just giving up people and playing a back five and then having two in midfield and then Lacazette playing in midfield, but there's nobody in the box. And then I don't want that. I want this to be, this game has the potential to be a 3-2, a 4-3, that sort of a game, because they're going to attack. And we can get them on the break.
But they're real leaky at the back.
I'll give you a good word to describe Leeds, right? Cavalier. The way that they play, they are so cavalier. They come right out, man. They come right out, and they're kind of got a mentality like, do you know what I mean? You score one, then we'll score two. You score two, then we'll score three. Yeah. And I kind of like that a little bit. So we, as Rohan says, we have got to come out and play, rather than just be all.
And they're not afraid of playing.
In our half,
they
being pinned back by Leeds. Can't have that.
And it's possible that they can do that. They did it to City at the Etihad. They did that for the second half that they played against City. I don't know if you guys watched it. They dominated City in the second half. They ended up 1-1. Leeds should have won that game. And so they come and do that to us. All of a sudden, we've lost 4 and 5 or something like that. It's not looking good, right? This was the time that we're supposed to pick up. Right now, again, 6 points behind the leaders. We need to be right up there, and we can't let this slip. So this is what I want. What do I think he will do? I really hope that he drops Willian and Lacazette. Maybe these are the only two guys that he's going to drop. But it was so bad that I can't see him picking these two guys. I think you guys have forgotten how bad it was in the previous game, and he came out quite angry. And the only change, if he makes only one change, then really was he angry? I mean, I'm going to doubt his judgment if he does that. I want to see these two guys out of the team. I want to see Pepe in. I want to see Aubameyang through the middle, not have Eddie in there and then Aubameyang on the left, and then you don't know what's happening. You don't want that. And these two changes definitely. I still think he might go with a back five because he thinks that Leeds are better at attacking and they're a better unit right now, and that's why I think that he might play with a back five. So yeah. And in the midfield, I think he will play Partey if he's fit, and I think he will play Xhaka. He's playing.
So who does he play out on the left? Who does he play out on the left up front?
Aubameyang, isn't it?
He's going to play Aubameyang on the left, Eddie in the middle, and
Eddie in the middle. I'm sorry. All right.
Yeah.
You guys forget though, we have a 2-week break and everything, and this is our time to change things around and do a 180. But I know we don't have a lot of players out on duty, but we do have players out on duty. You have AMN, you have Saka, Bellerin's out, Xhaka's out, Aubameyang was out. So
we had a few of the under 23s as well, right?
So due to all these, I don't think it's going to be feasible for us to do all these, tactical changes, all these, formation changes. I want to. Don't get me wrong. I completely want to. I call it the pinwheel 4 up front. It goes to win, man. It's just constantly rotating, constantly moving up front. Oh, it gets me going. Anyways, I just don't know if Arteta has the time or wants to really revamp the system when certain key players are out on duty and can't really don't really understand it or don't have time to learn it, because we do need I don't want to say complete rebuild of our formation, but we do need to tweak the system. Say it again.
Is Thomas Partey back? Because if he's out and El Nene is out, then we're really snookered, mate.
I don't know. I think I heard that.
Yeah, I know he didn't. He didn't travel for the international break. I know that.
Yeah. I hear he's going to be available, but it's not definite. So I don't know. But
I completely forgot about his.
I think the only changes Arteta is going to make are just going to be personnel changes, player for player. There's going to be no formation changes, no system changes, no tactical changes. It'll just be like we talked about, Eddie and Laka, maybe Pepe and Willian. I can't see us really doing anything like tactically different.
So,
but what is there? Our back four out of both the centre backs are still there, right? Has Gabriel gone out? I don't think he's gone out, and David Luiz. So these guys are there, and then the fullbacks play as the fullbacks play, right? Like, I mean, and why can't he change it? I don't think he will. He'll play a back five, but like, I don't think that's the reason why he shouldn't go to a back four.
Well, like I said this on the last podcast, I think Arteta sees our 11 as a machine, and that'd be awesome. I know. I think
no, it wouldn't be.
No, I was kidding. Hey.
Anyway, don't we?
It
feels like that. We kind of play with that zero in midfield at times. Anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, Arteta sees our 11 as a machine, and see, now I forgot what I was saying. Mike, really? You're my spirit animal, and you're gonna throw me off? I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. No, so Arteta sees us as a machine. Okay, yeah. So Arteta sees us as a machine. So like, I think everybody in the 11 has a role to play, and if 2 people or 3 people are out on duty and can't learn each role they got to do, it's gonna screw up the entire 11. It's gonna screw up the entire machine. So I don't think he's gonna risk it. I don't think he's gonna risk like learning a whole new, kind of formation, a new kind of hybrid style to play. Yeah, even if we could have 10 of 11 on the field, but that one person, if he doesn't know it, then, let's just say Saka doesn't know what he's doing. Well, then Tierney might not know what to do because Tierney plays right behind him. And then if Tierney doesn't know what to do, then maybe, I don't know. I just think our Tierney, Arteta is more of like, he's a machine guy. He's not a individual, like, let's get all these things working guy. At least for me, he's not. Doesn't seem like he is.
I feel for Tierney so much in our team because there are games where he's playing 3 positions in one game. He's playing a left centre back, he's playing as a left back, and he's playing as a wing back as well. And I just want to see him out on the left, playing as a left back, maybe getting up the pitch, doing a little bit of wing back stuff. But I don't want to see him in the centre of our defence anymore. And then having to shuffle over, and when he shuffles over, that one has to come back in, and he has to fit into that place. It's sometimes it's like I feel like sometimes like Mikel Arteta trying to reinvent the wheel.
I hate to say it, but
I mean that phrase I keep saying, too cool for school. I see that sometimes with Mikel Arteta, and I'm like, just cut it out, mate. You say sometimes to football players, keep it simple. I want to say the same thing to him sometimes. You got players doing 3 roles in a match, man. Now, come on, would you? This young Kieran Tierney is still learning his trade as well.
I hate to say it though. If we play a back 4, I could totally see Xhaka in the midfield. Because what he'll do is he'll push Xhaka back and then we'll have 3 center back. He'll be the pseudo center back that comes in while Tierney and Bellerin push up, which is kind of why I don't want to see him back 4. Because then that means to me Xhaka gets into the team, which I do not want Xhaka in the team. He offers us nothing. He doesn't do anything better than anybody that we have in the 11 on the field. I'm sorry, it's not an agenda. He literally doesn't do it. What is he best at? He's best at long passes. Luis is better than him. Bring back Ndusi from Berlin. He's better. Like, come on. What are we talking about here? 1,
he's not better, and 2, it's only because Elneny can't play. That's why Xhaka's in there. But
then you have Tobias. You need legs, you need athleticism. You need people that can pass the ball and move the ball and make dribbles. Xhaka does not do that. He doesn't do that. He can't do that. It wasn't to you, Rohan. That was to everybody. That was to all Xhaka fans. He does not do that.
I don't have it. I don't have the Xhaka gift in here. I don't know why, but I don't have it.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for that to come up.
I know.
I don't have it.
I was doing this. I'm like, oh, it's coming. It's coming. I'm so scared.
All right. I don't know. Does anybody give a rat's behind what I think, or should we just move on to?
I said Tanner, go.
I agree with Ryan. I'll make it quick. I would very much like to see 4 at the back, a midfield. A midfield. I basically want to see a 4-2-3-1, but that 3 and that 1 I want to do kind of what Ryan said. The diamond. Don't necessarily want them to. I don't want the diamond to literally rotate.
No.
As in, okay, well, I because there might be some folks out there like
to shine.
Yeah, I mean, Aubameyang at the tip of that diamond. He's, I don't really want him out on the right or the left. I want him, straight through the middle to make things happen. The other three, the other three really, to Ryan's point with the chaos, that three that sits right behind the one, those are the three that I want creating the chaos. So I agree with that. It would be Tierney, Gabriel, David Luiz for me. I again, I can't believe this is. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to spill the beans on what Ryan did for me before the show, but I am agreeing with him. So,
yeah,
there you go. Yeah, now you remember. Now I think that David Luiz and Gabriel can form a good partnership if they could get a run of games together. I think those two could really gel back there.
And it's crazy. Like when we gave Luis, when we extended him a year, I was like, what are we like? What is happening? I'm like, I think slowly though, and if you guys have it, I retweeted it. It was Ian Wright has a thing on YouTube where he talks to players, and he had a sit down with David Luiz, and it was actually really when and Luis is like, seriously, he's growing on me so much. To think. Geez, how long ago when did Germany win the World Cup? What was that? 14. To think I was laughing at David Luiz crying to now, like I appreciate him now. Now I'm like, I really, we should. I really appreciate it. And I think the leadership he brings to the team is just something that we really need. And I think he kind of goes leaps and bounds even over what Xhaka does. And I just think he's what?
I want to answer Mike's question.
No,
you said no because you said
did it.
No.
I said we did it. We didn't record it. Oh,
little did you know. Listen, man, I need to have a little leverage against you.
It's my dick in a box. Sorry. Anyways, yeah. So I don't know. Kwanzaa in a box. Sorry.
We're done. That's it. I can't believe you just said that. No.
Kwanzaa.
Anyway, hang on. Let me finish here. So the back four is Tierney, Gabriel, David Luiz, Hector Bellerin. In the midfield two for this match, as long as he's fit, I would go with Thomas Partey, obviously. And I'm going to give a shout.
I have a serious question. Can El Nene play with a mask on?
Yeah, right.
I would put him in. I'd rather see him with a mask on, hazmat suit, a shield on, and Xhaka. Get him.
All right. Saturday Night Live.
Looking for Aubameyang's Black Panther mask.
Yeah, come on.
Will Ferrell is Harry Carey when he said next week we're going to have Albert Einstein on. What's that? He's dead. Now what the hell? We'll try to get him anyway. Cubs win. Partey, I'm going to give a nod to Danny Ceballos here. I kind of feel like this would be his sink or swim game. So I bring him in. The three behind Aubameyang in the middle. I would probably put Joe Willock in there to play sort of directly behind Aubameyang and to just run his ass off. I would put Pepe on the right, and I would put Bukayo Saka out on the left. Clearly, Mikel Arteta is not going to do that. I do agree with everybody else. I think he's going to stick with the back five. I think Pepe is going to get a start. I actually believe that Nicolas Pepe is going to get a start. But I think that Eddie's going to come in for Laka, and he's going to play through the middle with Aubameyang out on the left. So that's how
I like your 11. The only thing I don't know why I think Willock is better off to the side. I think making diagonal runs in the box. I think Willock is just too lightweight to play in the middle of the field for us. I'd rather see Saka there.
For purposes of actually putting it on a board.
Yeah.
I would put Willock in that slot in behind Aubameyang, but his role would be like you just run. Just in that middle area, just run. If he finds himself out on the right with the ball, so be it. Make something happen. If he finds himself out on the left with the ball, so be it. What did you say? that Diamond can rotate, with the exception of Aubameyang.
No, I think Aubameyang has to rotate too because he's a runner. He likes to.
Yeah, but he's got to be. But he's got to be in the middle, and he's got to stay.
I don't think so because if he's always in the middle, the top of the thing, the two center backs are gonna be like, all right, cool. Aubameyang is their best player. They're just gonna man mark Aubameyang and take man mark.
That's I think that's the key though, because I think this is why Aubameyang is so important through the middle. We're gonna go another hour on this. I can just feel it in my bones. I don't want to, but I can just feel it. We're gonna go another hour on this. This is why I think Aubameyang through the middle is so important. Take the goals that he can score through there out of the equation for a minute. He's going to draw defenders to him, which is going to create time and space for Nicolas Pepe, for Bukayo Saka. It's going to open things up for the other players, and we're going. Hopefully, that should mean that we get secondary scoring.
I agree with you, but are you really gonna take out our best player just so these other guys could do something? I don't. No.
The point isn't that I want Aubameyang to be a decoy. I think so many teams will gear up to stop him that they'll do what teams have been doing. They'll just do it through the middle as opposed to where Aubameyang's out on the left, where you have a fullback and your right-sided center back basically playing him in a 1-on-2, and you may even have a midfielder dropping back. So Aubameyang's theoretically going 1-on-3. Rowan, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
See, a little bit of movement will happen, but I want to primarily see Aubameyang within the breadth of the 18-yard box. You know, even if it's not bang in the middle, like it's moving from left to right within that.
Yes.
What I really want to see, and the reason why I've chosen Willock in my team, is because I want to see runs from midfield. We're not seeing that enough, and that's why we're not breaking lines. You know, it's easy to defend in Stars because we have players either in front of their defense or right on the line of their defenders. There's nobody in the middle. That place is vacant. We like a circle, and there's nobody in the middle. We want someone there to pick up a pass, to make that half turn, or when Aubameyang's attracted the center back, somebody else to sort of go and break the lines and get in behind. That's what we need, and I hope that they can do that, and that would make the game exciting.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Crook's question here for you guys. Guys, if you want to start firing questions in here, go ahead. We'll try to get through as many of these as possible. Let's keep the answers short. So, Stan, I'll start with you. Realistically, how many points do you think we'll get from the next 3 league matches? Away to Leeds, home to Wolves, and away to the Scum. Out of 9,
maybe 4. A win and a draw, and a loss. There'll be a loss, no points. 3 points for a win, and maybe a draw.
Wow. Okay, Ryan.
So realistically, I don't know. I don't know why I'm saying this, but realistically, I think we could. I see us getting at least 5. I don't see us losing any of these games. I think we're better than all 3 of these teams. I know we're not playing well. We're not scoring. I trust Arteta. I don't know what to tell you. I think he could maybe, even if we're winning 1-0, we're winning 1-0. It's 1-0 is 3 points. 1-0 is the same as winning 5-0. So I mean, I really can't see us losing.
You don't get style points.
Yeah, and I know I'm gonna get shit for this. Don't really care. I really think Villa is a good team. Like we played bad. Like I said, we played. They're
a good team. They're going to be hovering. They're going to be hovering around the top 10.
They're not a terrible team. So,
Rowan.
Yeah. So.
Rowan,
I think we'll get 4. That's what I think. But we are unpredictable. We thought that we were in good form at one point. So I won't be surprised if we get 7. If we get 7 out of this. But realistically, I think we'll get 4.
Yeah, unfortunately,
really might be our toughest game of the 3. Actually, I feel.
I hate this. Realistically, yeah, it's 4. I just the Leeds, this game's the catalyst to the next 3. If we can go on the road and beat them, all of us. So really, you're talking. Okay, now we come home. We've got Wolves. They're a well-disciplined team. They're well-structured, but we can score goals on them. so now all of a sudden you say, okay, now you see 6, and it's, that last one's, it's a North London derby. Anything can happen. All bets are off. You just never know. So I could see 4. I could see 4. I don't see any less than 4. I think 4 is low. Fucking Mike. I just
feel that we could. I fully expect us to get more points out of the Leicester fixture and also the Aston Villa fixture.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We couldn't even like get a draw at Villa. So it just makes me, and it does change game by game for me sometimes, right? Because I went into the Leicester game fully expecting a win. I did. We didn't. So then when we came around to the Man United game, I was like, well, I don't see us getting anything out of this one. We'd be lucky to nick a draw. And Man United were just on a little bit of an upturn on the back of a couple of wins. And what happened? We managed to scratch out a 1-0. So then I went into the Aston Villa game thinking, okay, we're on a little bit of an upturn here. I think we might be able to get something from this game. We got nothing.
Yeah, and I think that Mikel Arteta has a better game against the big boys. So playing against Spurs, I think he will be able to handle it, and he'll be able to tactically outdo Mourinho. But Leeds is something that he's going to give that respect, because he's seen how they played against City, and all of these guys they respect Bielsa like nobody's business, right? So he's got, like we said, he got humbled in the last game, and he wouldn't want a humbling again, 2 on the bounce. So I could see us getting 7 points, but we could just get 4, and out of the next 3, I think Leeds is the toughest one, actually.
Yeah. And not a whole lot of questions here. Actually, Mike Hers, this was on Twitter. If the only deal we could pull off was a loan deal in January, would you try to get Eriksen or Isco? One word answer: Eriksen or Isco on loan in January? Stan?
Maybe on loan. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Which one?
Maybe I think I'd have Eriksen over Isco.
Ryan?
Yeah, I would. One word: Eriksen over Isco.
Eriksen. Rohan?
I mean, he knows the league, right? There's no excuses about
Eriksen, Premier League
acclimatized, language. There's none of that excuses.
Yeah.
Premier League.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. I'd take Eriksen as well. Again, knows the league. That's pretty much the reason why. Interesting question here. Keep it quick, fellas. Was the club wrong for not listening to Unai Emery when he wanted to sign Christopher Nkunku? I believe Nkunku was in France. Was he at Paris? Is that where? Because he's not there now.
He was a young kid at Paris.
PSG now. He's at Leipzig.
He's at Leipzig now. He was at PSG when Unai. So mistake for not letting Unai Emery sign him. Stan?
I would say in hindsight of what Nkunku's doing at Leipzig, yes. But I'm not going to sit here and say that he was a player that I knew about, and I was like, we got to get this guy. He only came onto my radar when I heard his name mentioned being linked.
Right, Ryan.
Yeah, I knew about him when we were linked with him. I've seen him play. At the time, no, I don't think he was someone that we could have benefited from. But obviously now, watching him play the Bundesliga, yeah, obviously hindsight 2020. So yeah.
Right. That's my answer. That's exactly what my answer would be. Hindsight's 2020. So, Rohan, anything to add on Nkunku? Do you think it's a mistake to have not gotten him?
I agree with the guys. Now we see that he's performing. Earlier, I mean, didn't know much about him, and we have what we have. So let's try to get go forward.
Last thoughts here, fellas. We'll just go around the horn again real quick. Stan, any last thoughts for tonight before we get out of here?
No, not really. I mean, there's not really that much happening. I mean, I'm just really looking forward. I think for me, I'm really looking forward to the next game to see what this lineup is going to be and what the formation is going to be. I want to see how he's used the 2 weeks. Has he used the 2 weeks to persevere with what he's been doing and trying to get the players used to this system that he's trying to implement and improve that, or is he going to totally scrap it? Is he totally going to scrap it? You know, brush away all the pieces off the board and then reset them out again in a totally different way. And then obviously it's how we play, because if we go out basically the same, maybe with one change, as I said, which would be Eddie in for Lacazette, but everything else basically the same, and we get smashed, then it's going to be really compounded on Mikel Arteta that he has to do more. He has to basically maybe look at changing the system. But if we go out there and we scrape a win, obviously I never want Arsenal to lose. Never. Not even to justify something. But if we scrape a win, then that tells me then that we will continue seeing the formation and the similar players until it becomes a point where you have to do something where it's too resounding. And he's getting away with it a little bit, because at the end of a couple of games, I think there would have been, the traveling fans would have, and in some cases the home fans would have probably made it quite vocal and known that they were dissatisfied. So they've got away with that, which gives him a little bit more breathing space to either continue what he's doing or make the change. So that's what I'm looking for. The next game is so important.
Yeah. Real quick, Akash, I believe. So Stan, sit this one out. He doesn't care what you have to say on the matter.
He's not an AMN guy. It's okay.
Question for Rohan and Ryan: if we sell Xhaka, do you think AMN will get a chance in midfield? And again, try to keep the answers quick, boys.
No, I think he would have. I think he would have got a look at it already. I think, and I just think the way Arteta plays, he likes to have those inverted wingers, and he likes that hybrid style. So I think AMN maybe. I think AMN would get more game time, just not playing center mid.
Rohan?
Yeah, I don't think he has to play. Once we sell Xhaka, I would be excited to see him. I know that Ryan's been a big fan of him, and he's got the athleticism, which is what is required, right? I would want to see him, but I'm not sure whether Arteta does that. So yeah, who knows? But I would like to see him. He has given good performances generally, except for the last Europa League game where it was like a little bit of an abject performance for me from him, but yeah, I'd like to see him in the team.
Yeah. This will be the last one here.
Am I allowed to come back now?
Yeah. Come on back then.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer that at all, Stan?
Nah.
No. Okay. Scum versus City predictions. Stan, go.
What's that? Scum, Tottenham versus City. Well, it's got to be a City win, isn't it? For me. Gotta be. There's no way that I'm going to sit here and start pontificating about the wonder that is Jose Mourinho and Tottenham. Just not going to happen. So yeah, for me, a City win.
Ryan. So
Stan was out of the last question. I'm out of this question because I honestly do not care. I don't really care. I'm not answering.
Okay, Rohan.
I'm taking a stand. Oh, that was good.
I love a pun as well. You know that.
I want City to win. I want City to put Tottenham back in their place. City haven't been performing, and generally City are a joy to watch, right? They're sort of, they add a little bit of class to the Premier League, which is this season just turning out to be like an unpredictable shithole. So I'd want things to go back to normalcy. City play well. City score goals. Tottenham go back to shit. They're getting too gassed about their title aspirations, etc., etc. So let's get them back to earth to Tottenham. Come back, please. Now,
will the real scum please stand up?
Yes.
All right, Ryan. Last final word.
Yeah. I hope
you can do better than.
You got to do better. You got to do better than that, man.
No, I was just gonna say I just have to agree with Stanley. Oh, great. I just don't want to see the same 11. I don't. So if I see the same 11 and we still win 1-0, I can't say I'll be foaming in the mouth like Stan. But I don't. Again, like Stan, I'm getting older. I don't want these hard problems. I don't want to see the same 11. And the whole game I'm watching, the same 11. What the fuck's he doing? What's going on? What's going on? And then we score in stoppage time to kind of cool me off. Yeah, sure, but something. I had a little chuckle. Yeah. Something has to change, and I think he'll do it. I just don't think it'll be to the magnitude of what people think it'll be, just because of a 3-0 thrashing at Villa.
Rohan, final word.
This weekend, I'm gonna be writing a test. My test is gonna go on for 24 hours, so I'm going to be recording the match and then not checking the score and watching it right after the exam. So after 24 hours, I want that game to be the release, and I want the team to perform, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So I'm looking forward to that game. It has the potential to be a great game, and I hope that Arteta doesn't ruin it. That's my thought, because I feel like Leeds are going to turn up.
And the player. Let's not keep it. I hope Arteta and the players are ruined. Just because Arteta picks a bad 11, doesn't give them the excuse. Any 11 we put out, we should beat Leeds. I know Leeds are good; they're cavalier, but we should still beat them. Doesn't matter. I had to say it just sounds better when it says like that. So I had to say it like that.
Your English accent is awful.
That wasn't even an English accent. I was just being sophisticated, okay. I guess. Or
Sure. My final word. I want to ask you one thing before we get out of here. How long were we on for?
Oh, how long have we been on air for? Hold on a minute.
Yeah. How long have we been on?
Well, according to my new time code, it's about 1 hour and 16 minutes.
Perfect. All right, that's it for us. Thank you, everybody watching live in the chat box. Great stuff tonight, guys. Appreciate everybody that's going to watch on replay. Everybody that catches us on the audio only version on Spotify. Craig, our fearless leader across the pond, he handles that stuff for us. So appreciate it, everybody. Last word literally will be, come on, you.